Hey folks, Landstryder here, and welcome to episode 13 in my Utopia Resurrection series. We're up on the space station. Today I'm joined by Dornell, and we're going to be putting together a vacuum freezer, and I'm going to be showing you a special way to get platinum, extra platinum out of your nickel ore. And then I'm also going to be showing you some of the things I've been building between episodes. So let's start. Since Dornell's been toiling away getting parts together for the freezer, let me show you how we arrived at having our vacuum freezer. So if we look at the recipe for vacuum, not uses, recipe, there we go. If we look at the recipe for the vacuum freezer, I believe these electric pumps were made like a while ago before we realized that we couldn't make the data control circuits just for them yet. And those are a bunch of parts, a bunch of steel bits and pieces, some stainless steel, and the electric motor, again, more stainless steel and magnetic steel. Nothing too surprising there. I'm sure you've seen these recipes before. This right here was the hard part, the data control circuit. And this is what we had to make those high voltage machines for in the last episode, the advanced precision laser. I think I mentioned it, the fact that the engraved crystal wouldn't eject into the advanced forming press is because it's not used in a recipe in the forming press. It's used in a recipe in the assembler, so it wouldn't go right into there. That was what that whole issue was. Just me being a derp. So we got the engraving crystals, and those we made with olivine because we have olivine dust, and that can be compressed into sheets with the advanced compressor. The other option is to use emerald. But in order to get emerald sheets, you must compress it into a block and then cut it with a cutting saw. And we do not have a cutting saw, so we didn't use emerald. We used the olivine. To make these. See, there's still an olivine plate left over. So those were then used to create these guys right here, the data storage circuit in the assembler with advanced circuit boards. Advanced circuit boards, of course, are forming press with some etched high voltage wiring. Those I think we've made before. Those are also made in the process of making the regular advanced circuits. Those can be done down here in the lower voltage or the medium voltage machines. I think that's what those are considered. Yeah, medium voltage. So there's still a little bit more to that process once you get to the advanced data storage circuit. You need 3 of those and a processing board to create the data control circuit. You need 3 of those in order to make that freezer. So the processing board is some silicon plates, and this is another one that has to be done in the high voltage machine. Some silicon plates with some etched high voltage wiring. Now this right here is rare. This is an expensive part right here because it requires platinum foil. Platinum, of course, is an extremely rare commodity as far as I can tell. The only place to get it, I believe, is possibly in the end, and that's a whole nother story. We are being locked out of the end by the Nemgo evil consortium. They've locked us out of the end. They are claiming it for themselves, and they're not letting anybody else in there. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what we're going to do about that, but we do have an alternative method of getting platinum for now, because platinum also comes as a byproduct of processing nickel. So we look up nickel, and we look at the usages. Look up nickel and look at the usages of nickel. We can see that we can get a byproduct of, well, cobalt for the initial breakdown, but somewhere in the process of processing it, you can get, here we go, tiny piles of platinum. There's another way to get the nickel out of this, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. To get the maximum amount of platinum out of your nickel ore, if we look at the, where is it at? That's not it. There's a recipe with not smelting, not macerating, not pulverizing. Where is that? It's over here. It's with the induction smelter. If we go into the induction smelter, I think what I need to do is look up cinnabar instead. Cinnabar, this stuff right here from thermal expansion. We can get this couple different ways we can get or actually let's look at the recipes. A couple different ways we can get cinnabar. We can pulverize redstone for a small chance of getting some cinnabar out of different stuff. We can create it in the fluid transposer, and this is what we're going to be doing today. Because this is a 100% chance of getting it. It just takes some gelid cryothium and cinnabar ore, and we'll get some cinnabar. The other way that you can potentially get it is, no, that's it, pretty much it. Pulverizing redstone. I got some from pulverizing some of the redstone that we got from over in the nether. That's how I ended up figuring out that I could use this stuff, this cinnabar, and if we look at the usages of it, let's go look at the induction smelter. Induction smelter uses of it, we can get 3 ingots out of our ore. But what we want to look at specifically is the nickel. Let's see if I can find it. Somewhere in here, there's going to be the nickel recipe. There it is, right here. Nickel ore will give us 3 ferrous ingots and a shiny ingot. Well, what happens when you take these out of the induction smelter after it processes them? It turns that shiny ingot into platinum from the GregTech auto ore dictionary thing. So that's what we're going to be working on today. And I processed some nickel that I got from the nether because that won't work in this process. It has to be overworld nickel ore. Can't be. Oh, you're running stuff through there. I'll just put this away for now. Let's see here. So I've set up some machines downstairs. Right over here, I've got my fluid transposer and my magma crucible just for this process. I've already made some blizz powder. Now, to make the blizz powder is, if you don't find blizzes, like spawn, you can go find blizzes, they spawn in the world, you can kill them, you can get some blizz rods, and then you can grind those to get blizz powder. Or, if you have snowballs, which we have snowballs, you can use some destabilized redstone. It just takes 2 redstone per snowball, and you'll get some blizz powder. Take that blizz powder, and we combine it into a recipe for cryothium. So right there's cryothium. We should have some of this. We get a bunch of that. Well, actually, I get about 8 of it. What am I missing? I'm missing some saltpeter, and I'll have to make some more of that later. But this is enough to show you how this works. Now, I already used up all the let's see. So I put this in a magma crucible. I used up all of the cinnabar that I already had gotten from pulverizing. So that's going to turn it into gelid cryothium. It's automatically going to eject it down into here. Now I'm going to go get some cinnabar. Hopefully this doesn't take a lot of gelid cryothium per usage. And it won't work with the nether versions of the ores. So you have to have the overworld versions of the ore for this as well. You go ahead and put that in the fluid transposer. Wow, okay, there it goes. Hopefully it doesn't take up a lot of the cryothium. Okay, it seems to take 2 per. And then we get the cinnabar. Lovely. We can use this cinnabar to basically triple any ore that we wanted, any of the basic ores, any of the ores that thermal expansion recognizes in the induction smelter. But what we're going for is we want the platinum. The only thing that I'm going to use this process for is to get that platinum because it's hard to get otherwise, and it's very needed for the very high-tech stuff. So nickel, or I have a little bit of it here. We'll go ahead and put this in the induction smelter with our cinnabar, and in just a few moments we'll have some nickel bars and some nickel. Actually, I think it's called ferrous when it comes out of here. And some shiny metal. And you'll see as soon as I put it into my actual inventory, it's going to ore dictionary because of GregTech. And then I'll have platinum and nickel. So yeah, see ferrous and shiny. But as soon as I pull it out, give it a few seconds, and you'll see... Okay, it's being slow. Usually it's pretty quick. There it goes. There it goes. Ferrous ingots and platinum ingots. So that's how we got the platinum in order to make our circuits. The other way to get the platinum is, of course, through the regular processing of nickel, which you take the crushed nickel, run it through the ore washer, which is going to give you those small tiny piles of platinum, so it would take like 9 ore to get 1 bar of platinum. But you also have a chance of, when you pulverize the washed, the pulverized centrifuged version of the nickel, you also have another chance of getting getting a platinum dust, a full platinum dust from it, but it's a 10% chance. So it's basically back to the every 9 or so pieces of ore you're going to get a piece of platinum. Circuits. So that's how we made the circuits. That's how we got the freezer. It was a long and tedious process. It takes a lot of high-end GregTech machines and some tomfoolery with thermal expansion to kind of get us a little bit of a workaround. So, putting the vacuum freezer together. So let's get these parts out. Looks like we got an input bus, an output bus, and an energy hatch. And it looks like we got the extreme voltage energy hatch. So that's going to accept up to 2048. Now, there shouldn't be any problem with using it even with a lower voltage if we only feed it like 512. It should still be okay. It'll accept that. It just won't be able to process recipes that require more than 512 unless we fed it to it. But it'll be capable. I think we're going to actually be able to feed it the whole 2048. We're going to try that. So, Dornell, can you get me a couple things ready? I need some transformers.
Which ones?
I'm looking it up right now. I need a high voltage transformer from Industrial3, and then I need the extreme voltage transformer from GregTech. That should work, I hope. So we're gonna put it right over here. This is where I've always intended to put the freezer.
I'm working on your maintenance hatch right now. Can I finish that?
Yeah, finish that first, obviously. Okay, yeah, I was thinking we were missing a part. That's the part, the maintenance hatch. So this will go here. And just like we had over on the other ones, okay, this is going to go right back. So the power is going to come up through here. I'm going to have to put some rubber sheets and stuff. So power is going to be inputted from right there. Just like we had over there, the input bus will be back here, and the output bus will be right here. The maintenance hatch will go right there when it gets that done. And let's look at, make sure I got this all right. Now the interesting thing about the freezer, this doesn't require that you have these in the bottom or any specific place, really. It just says, oh, the controller needs to go up 1 level. So, let me get my wrench out here. Because it needs to be in the center middle, right there like that, center front. And then everything else can be pretty much anywhere, except it's hollow in the middle, okay? So everything's got to be frost-proof casings. We've got the energy hatch, the input and output buses, and he's working on the maintenance hatch. So the rest of this is going to be these guys.
Move by your saw for a minute.
Saw. Do I have a saw?
Your chainsaw.
Oh, my chainsaw. Yeah. Okay, and I think we're gonna need some more more frost-proof casings too, because we're short here.
I said you only needed 16.
At least it says 16 at least. That means we could use extra input and output hatches and stuff like that, but the minimum amount of frost-proof casings is 16. So we need 2, 3, 4, 5 more frost-proof casings plus the maintenance hatch, and we should be good.
Gotta cook up some more aluminum, so it's gonna be a little bit.
Aluminum? Okay. I'll throw it in. Maybe. Do we have aluminum dust? Maybe
yes, we have tons of it.
I was gonna say, I thought we had pretty, a large amount of it over here. Yeah, there we go.
Wow, your saw won't work.
Well, what are you trying to do with it?
I
No,
need a saw to
you
make the
can't.
maintenance.
No, it consumes the saw. You can't use my saw for that. You have to make one. Yeah, because when you make a maintenance hatch, I think it consumes all those tools. Good question. We'll find out here in a second. Also, when you're working with a maintenance hatch, these are the tools that you would use to clear different messages. So the file, the hammer, screwdriver, wrench, cutters, crowbar, and a hammer. Wait, you got 2 hammers in here?
It says they put everything in there.
Okay. Maybe there's only 7 messages. I don't know. So this is putting out titanium right now. Oh yeah, I made some shadow steel so I could make myself a new sword because my sword broke. And I keep going out into the wilderness with no weapon, and that's probably not a good thing. I've been killing zombies with my chainsaw, which is fun, but not nearly as effective as when I have a shadow iron sword. Or shadow steel sword is much more effective. So let that cook. This is should be done soon. Here, let me pull that. Did you need that last piece of titanium? Probably did, didn't you?
Oh, not for sure.
There was 7 that got cooked. 7 pieces. I'll just put it in the system. We'll figure it out here in a minute. We gotta get that aluminum cooked. I guess this would be a good time for me to go ahead and show you some of the other things I've been working on around here. Actually, the air crystals need to go in here, and that's actually going to help me demonstrate my next automation that I set up. A couple people, or at least one person, had asked me about automating the magic stuff, and I said I was going to show that, so let's show you that. If we come over here, we can see that I have the alchemical constructs set up, and this particular one is set up to automate all of the crystals that you get from the GregTech crystals, so that you get a bunch more thaumium crystals out of it. So you see order shards, it can do entropy shards, let's see, up, down, air shards, fire shards. So what we've done is we've actually fed all those different dusts, and we've taught this machine, because it can remember up to 7 recipes because of these mnemonic matrices. It can remember up to 7 recipes. I think each one adds 2 additional recipes that it can remember. And so whenever it gets one of the things that it knows how to do, it goes ahead and processes it. Now it's being fed from this import, or this bus right here, this export bus. So whenever we get any of these dusts in the ME system, it will automatically attempt to put them into this thing, which will automatically attempt to turn them into their crystal version, their shard version, except for the case of the amber, which is amber. So it has all 6 shards plus amber. Now what I got this interface here for, it is where this machine is outputting. So it pushes them back into the ME system. They come back in here. Now if we look inside here, I have this set to continuously keep a little bit of glass and a piece of charcoal. And then down below here, you can kind of see it, and I can drop down through here. That's why I left this hole. You can see that I have some transfer pipes from extra utilities, and I'm using retrieval nodes. Now these retrieval nodes are made with the QED. That was one of the reasons I wanted to have the QED from last time, to make some of those special tools. So we look here, the retrieval node. There's a liquid version as well. So instead of pulling stuff out of the machine that it's attached to and trying to send it down the pipe, these look down the pipe at other inventories and try to find something and bring it into the inventory that it's attached to. I hope that makes sense. Now each one of these has a filter in it. See, this one's filtered to only look for glass. because I want glass going in the side. And this one's filtered to only look for charcoal because I want charcoal going in the bottom. I would like to actually have aluminum, but we don't have that automation set up, and we'll do that later, probably over there, possibly over there. So this continuously cooks glass and collects the crystal aspect anyway, and feeds it into this as it needs it. So right now it's backed up. Usually it has this extra, it has a little buffer of a jar of material plus the 32 that the arcane emblem holds, which is okay for just a few at a time. But when I put a whole stack of crystal in there, so it's burned through its backlog of essentia, and now it's just running at whatever rate charcoal can make it go. If you use the stuff I just said a moment ago, Elementum, if you use Elementum here, this will go faster. So it is worth using Elementum there if you have it. And again, we're going to set up that automation later, but it's a little more, requires more than one emblem, I believe, or more than one alchemical furnace and emblem and stuff. So we'd have to have the automation set in the middle, or furnace, emblem, possibly 2 emblems. Yeah, anyway, we'll get that together in another episode, and I'll show you that. How we doing over here? We still waiting on parts?
Maintenance hatches up.
Maintenance hatches? Well, it goes right here, with the maintenance side facing the wall over here. Or you got? Oh, I'll let you. Oh, you want me to do the honors? Okay. I guess that way I can't complain about it being in the wrong place. If I can pick it up, there we go. And there we go. That'll go there. In a moment, it should change color to the blue after it realizes it's part of a multi-block. Possibly. So we need 5 more pieces of frost-proof machine casing, and this is done. Well, then what we're going to do is power it with those transformers and wires and stuff. So I'm going to come down here and show you what I've been doing down here. This is another really complex automation that I put together. Why do I have a witch in my... I'm going to chainsaw the witch. Wow. Okay. Obviously, I don't have enough light in here. Let me throw some extra torch. Apparently, I was trying to move some torches around and I didn't put enough back. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully, that's enough now. I don't know where she spawned originally. Let me turn my F7 on and see if look at that. I have some places that you can still spawn. Let's see. Do I have any more torches? In here, I'll have a whole stack of torches in there. That's good. Just throw a few down for now. I'll come back later and put So over here, I have carpenter blocks with glowstone in them. So that's lighting up this spot right here. But these ones aren't actually carpenter blocks. Although I probably could make them carpenter blocks with glowstone in them to help get rid of some more of the torches in here. So anyway. Crisis averted, witch dead. Let's look at what I've... Well, first of all, I've run a dense cable over here because I'm going to have a lot of I'm actually going to make my lab the automation lab for applied energistics because I think that's kind of like mostly my thing. I'm the chief engineer in the corporation, so it seems appropriate to have the automation lab be over here. Magic Lab's over there at Raccoons, and I think Bees is going to be, Profound's going to have like a Bees and Forestry lab in his area. And I'm not sure what Teddy's going to do. I think he's going to just make it look like a really awesome reception office area. I have no idea. Hopefully, I know Teddy is going to make it look really nice, though, so we'll have to just wait and see how that turns out. So I have a standard crafting terminal here, but I have a terminal that allows me to access all of the interface terminals around the base. And actually, some of them are turned off because I don't want to see them because they're just input. They're just there for input to allow me to get stuff back from a machine process or whatever. So I've gone around and turned a few of them off. The way you do that is you go into the actual interface, and right here you can tell it to hide itself from that terminal, this terminal right here. But later on, when I need to like put recipes in an interface that's hidden in a wall behind touching a GregTech machine, I don't have to go digging in the wall. I can just come over here to the interface terminal and access all of the recipes from here, put things in and out, change things around if need be. And then this terminal over here allows me to create the recipes. The wonderful new thing about Applied Energistics 2 is we now have two different kinds of processing pattern. We can tell it whether or not it's a some kind of machine out in the world, or if it's a crafting pattern that can be made in a molecular assembler. The molecular assembler is entirely different now. It's like a single block. Which you put a interface on in order to be able to craft with it. So I have an interface up here. I have the assembler here, and I have two interfaces. There's two different versions of interfaces. So if we look at interface somewhere in here, we've got the full block, and the full block can actually be crafted into the multi-part structure piece, the multi-part version, and it can be crafted back as well. So you can just swap these back and forth in the crafting grid. But this allows it to be a multi-block thing, which can have the wire in the same thing. I could have used that up there, but I thought this looked cooler. This is basically just an appearance thing. I went for the appearance of it. I'm going to have some more of these molecular assemblers. That's what these are set up over here for. A couple more molecular assemblers. And you'll notice down here, right below my thing, I have the crafting storage. This is what allows you to actually do the crafting recipes. So in order for it to craft, you have to have a crafting storage of some sort. That's your crafting computer. And then once you have that, it will be able to do the crafting operations using the interfaces and whatever throughout your base. So in order to craft more than one thing at a time, I'm going to have to actually get more crafting computers. And these actually will form into a multi-block, and that may or may not be what you want to do. There's also things called coprocessors, which allow it to do multiple crafting at the same time. It's possible, I think, to build up one big solid multi-block thing with coprocessors and crafting storages. We're going to have to do some experimentation about that, but this area over here is where I intend to put more of those and bigger versions of them, because this is only 1K. They come in 4K and I think 16 and 64. I think maybe crafting 1K, 4K, 16, and 64. I got it right. So we're going to be doing those bigger ones over here, some more bigger, probably some 4Ks. At least 3 more. That's why I have the pillars set up like this, and possibly put some crafting displays or something too. So we'll see how that works out. I might put a crafting display on each one, and the computer above it. That way I can see what that particular crafting unit is crafting for me at the time, or is processing. Now over here we have the automation that allows me to create all of my processors. So there's 3 types of processors. We have the engineering processor, the calculation processor, and logic processors. So if we look up in here, we can see we have recipes for them. So what these do is it knows that with a piece of quartz or whatever, piece of gold plus a plus a silicon plate. Everyone takes a silicon plate. And this one takes, so is it pure sawdust, this one takes gold, and this one takes diamond. It pushes that into this dropper. This dropper is basically just an inventory that the interface can push things into to temporarily store them until they can be processed by the inscribers. This transfer node pulls the stuff out of the dropper and sends it to the appropriate place. Now, each one of these has a filter pipe to only allow the item that belongs into the specific inscriber. So the top inscriber is for diamonds. It has the engineering press, the calculation press, which is the quartz, the logic press, which is the gold, and the bottom one is the silicon press. You notice that the silicon press feeds over, once it's done inscribing, it comes out, this transfer node pulls it out and attempts to put it into this inscriber. It's a little sad that I couldn't have the front of this inscriber open, but I have like something on every single side of this inscriber. This export bus keeps redstone in this inscriber in the center slot at all times. the silicon always comes into the bottom. And then from those other 3 inscribers, the other part comes into the top, which then goes ahead and processes it into the finished processor. And it's pulled out by the front. On the front, where we have this transfer node that goes back up into the interface up there. Okay, that's that automation. Next automation that's like kind of cramped into here is the automation that keeps a certain number of charged Certus quartz in the system. So I always need to have some charged Certus quartz available in order to make Fluix crystals. This is what does it for me. There's a charger right here. This charger only uses power when there's crystals in it, so I don't have to worry about turning it off and on. So it's just always got power. It has to be fed power from the top or bottom, so I am feeding it from the top. It has the wire coming across there. This export bus will put Certus quartz in there, but it'll only put Certus quartz. You notice I have a redstone chip here, which gives me access to the redstone mode. It's only active with a redstone signal. Excuse me. Right here I have a level emitter. This level emitter is set up to monitor the amount of charged Certus quartz that we have in the system, so that whenever it drops below 15 charged Certus quartz, it will go ahead and emit a signal and turn this on, which will immediately put in a Certus quartz into the charger. Once it becomes a charged Certus quartz, this transfer node, which has a filter in it looking for charged Certus quartz, will go ahead and pull it out and send it back up into this interface, which will put it back into the system. Okay, that explains that monstrosity. Now let's take a look at this monstrosity, the crystal growth chamber of horrors. So in past mod packs that I've automated this crystal growth stuff, I've had access to Steve's factory manager. We don't have any of that luck here. So Steve's factory manager had me a little bit spoiled, so I had to come up with an interesting way to get this all automated. First of all, I don't want these crystal growth accelerators running when there's not a crystal in there, right? So that's part of what the buildcraft stuff that you see in there. You can see I have a gate. Let me go ahead and break that glass. Can I get it back? Did I get it back? Yeah, there we go. Break that glass so I can actually access this gate and show you that it's looking for items in the inventory, which again, I'm just using a dropper as an inventory. I'm not actually using it to drop stuff. And the interface is pushing stuff into there. And then it's also looking for items that are when items are transversing the pipe that it's going through. So when items transverse the pipe that it's going through, that it's attached to, which is going to be immediately, as soon as an item goes into the chest, it's going to push it out, and then this is going to get activated. It's going to send a signal down the red pipe wire. You see the red pipe wire comes over here to this cobblestone structure pipe, where I have a basic gate that converts that red pipe signal into a redstone signal, which is then picked up by the red net cable on the orange channel here, which is what I have this programmable red net controller for. Programmable red net controller just looks for a signal on the orange channel, and it extends that pulse, that redstone pulse, to 9,999 ticks, which just happens to be about the right amount of time for a crystal to grow in the water down below. While the pulse is being extended, it is sending a signal to this toggle bus to turn on the crystal growth accelerators. Hey, Rorax. She's over checking out my crystal growth chamber of horrors. Say hello to YouTube. So yeah, what else? Oh, then down below, let's go down below. Down below, I have a transfer node on the bottom of the water set up with a world interaction and filters to pull those crystals out once they're fully grown. Okay, so that is the crystal growth chamber of horrors. That does bring that back up, puts it back into the interface. We see the interface is set up to be able to craft those particular crystals and stuff. So over here this is basically just what I'm using for regular crafting. The only thing I'm currently using it for is to make these seeds, but it's going to have a whole lot more crafting recipes and stuff in it later on. But yeah, those are the automations that I've been putting together between this episode and the last. I wanted to show you those, explain them. I worked and worked and worked trying to get this whole chamber thing to work using blue power. And after about 2 hours of messing around with blue power trying to get all this to work, I actually figured it out in 5 minutes using the programmable RedNet controller. So RedNet for the win, in my opinion. So anyway, I think that about explains all this. How we doing over here? We got our we ready to put our freezing chamber thingy together now? Almost?
Getting there. I'm working on the frames now.
Okay. Alright guys, I'm going to take a break and I will be back when we've got the rest of our parts together and we'll finish up this freezer. Alright, back for a moment. Rorax is over here because she had a little mishap with her electric blast furnace. So I think she's come to use mine as soon as we're done processing the aluminum that we need for all of this. So I'm going to go ahead. We got the transformers ready to go, but we don't have all the casings because this thing is slow at producing aluminum. Getting there. I guess it takes 6 aluminum per things. Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, let's see. How many? Not so much because we have extruder. Yeah, because we can extrude our bars, so one bar equals a sheet. And let's see, so this is going to go right against it. That, yeah, there we go. It's going to go there, but this needs to face down. So, is that the wrong wrench? No, it's the right wrench. Oh, there we go. There it goes, face down. 1 bar is 1 plate, yes, and 1 bar is 2 rods. So now we come down here. Oh, actually, I gotta go down to the lower level. And right here. There we go. Yeah, plate bender. Plate bender will do that too. We'll also work for plates. You can do plates in the plate bender, or you can have the extruder thing for it. Doesn't really matter. Its extruder is slightly faster, but I think it uses more energy. Other than that, I don't think it matters. There we go. So I want the plug to be facing down. There we go. I think that's how that's supposed to work. And I don't have any power to this yet, so I got to run just a little bit of high voltage cable right over to there, and we should be good. And if I do that and nothing blows up, then we're all good. I always get a little nervous about these setups whenever I'm plugging in something new. Even though I've done it like many times now and haven't had any problem, but there's always that first time that you don't do something quite right, or you forget a step or something. So I need some cable. Do I have any high voltage cable? I do not. So I'm going to need to make some new high voltage cable. This right here requires some iron plates. I'm going to have to make a few of those. I believe I get 4 iron plates per, or 4 iron cable per cut. So, hey, Profound's here. Looks like it. Yay. Say hello to YouTube, Profound. YouTube. I don't know. He might be AFK. He must be AFK. Oh, well, he'll say hello when he comes back. Oh, yeah. 2 irons needs to go over to the plate bender. Basic bending machine to make some plates out of. And here it comes. Here we go. And put these in here with the cutters. Let's look up the press P again. High voltage cable. Oh, I get 3. I don't know if that's enough. We'll see. And should be some rubber in the system. Takes 3 rubber per. Let's just go ahead and get all those. I hope that's enough. If not, I'll just make 1 more plate's worth. I think that's just right, actually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. Now, if I look in the transformer now, we can see this as input of 2048, output of 2048, and that transformer up there is stepping it down to 512 at 4 amps, which is more than enough for our freezer to run, even though we've got the higher voltage. Whoops, wrong room. Even though we have the higher voltage hatch, it's not going to make a difference. It's receiving in 512, so it should be good. Hopefully that doesn't cause a problem, but we'll find out soon enough as soon as the last couple plates are done. And I think I'm going to take another cut because we've just got to sit here and wait for the machine to cook that aluminum. And till then, I'll be back. Okay, back again, and man, this thing's taking forever. So while this is finishing up, and Dornell's on that, we got 2 more blocks to go, but it's like 6 more aluminum per, I think, something like that. Anyway, while that's happening, there is one other thing I said I was going to show you in this episode, and that's how to set up the ender quarry. Now, last episode, I crafted the ender quarry. This episode, I want to craft something else for the ender quarry. So if we look at quarry, there are all these upgrades that you can apply to your ender quarry, and they are a block that kind of attaches to the side of it and does different things. You can get ender quarry. Well, first of all, you got to make a base ender quarry upgrade, and then you need to make your, whatever you want. You can have it actually produce a hole instead of turning everything to dirt. You can have it do silk touch, which would be like if you were doing a standard world, that probably might be what you'd want to use. But since we have the GregTech ores, really don't have to worry too much about silk touch because you just get the GregTech ore and then you have to process it. So that one's not too relevant to this pack, but it would be very useful in, say, some other kind of pack. So Fortuned, again, not relevant to this pack, but if it was playing in a vanilla style ore gen, you would definitely might consider that. And those take a lot of extra power, quite a lot of extra power. But what I'm interested in is the speed upgrades. Now, I've already crafted the speed 1 upgrade and applied it. So now I want to apply a speed 2 upgrade. This is going to tax our energy, but it is going to get the job done a lot faster. So in order to do these, first of all, let's look at the first one. This is the ender core. Actually, I got to make a speed 1 upgrade and then apply it to a speed 2. So I don't know if you can have more than one of the same kind of upgrade on the quarry and whether or not it would affect anything. But we're going to go with speed 2. I think you can have a speed 1 and a speed 2 on your thing. So first thing I got to do, I guess I got to make a speed 1. So for that, I'm going to need a diamond pick that's enchanted with efficiency 1. Well, I have an easy way to do that. So first I got to make the diamond pick, of course. Get some diamonds. I have a bit of that. And some sticks. Probably don't have enough sticks. Nope, I don't. We're just going to do it the expensive way. Yeah. We'll get a couple of them. There we go. Diamond pick. Go. There we go. Diamond pick. Got that. Now, instead of going on around and trying to find a book of efficiency 1, and which I might be able to do, we've got the fishing golems up there. They produce a lot of books. Seems like Thrax's having a hard time today. He's been trying to get on, and it's going off and on. So sorry, Thrax, for whatever the problem is. I hope you get it worked out. We're gonna put this diamond pick in our osmotic enchanter, and it only has to have efficiency 1. So there we go. Efficiency 1. Put your wand in first, otherwise it'll clear your stuff before you do your selection. Efficiency 1. That's all it needs. Go ahead and enchant. Real easy to do. There. Did it finish? Oh, there it goes. Little lag there. Little server lag going on. But all done. And now I think I need to make the base, the enchanting base. Quarry, I believe, is going to require some burnt quartz and some ender infused stone. So I should have that stuff in here somewhere. I made it up in advance. Burnt quartz and ender infused stone. There we go. And I'm actually going to need 2 of those, right? No, actually I don't need the base for the second one, right? Because the second one uses the first one. Okay. But if I want to make the third one, I'm probably going to need another base eventually too, if I want to make the speed upgrade 3. So let's just go ahead and do that. These have to be made. If you look in here, if you look where, there we go. You notice that is a QED recipe. It has to be done in a QED. So another reason to have this QED. This has been very useful lately since I've been working on the Ender Quarry stuff, and I still haven't got together and made the oh, sorry, buddy. Magnum torch. I was trying to I don't know what I was trying to do. I still need to make the Magnum torch. For that, I still have to bake the potions and stuff. So that's basically what's holding me up. Is I don't have an easy way to make the potions. Just got to do it the old manual, hard way. I think I have to get some melons and stuff and some other things. But yeah, we'll do that maybe next episode. Make the Magnum torch maybe at the beginning of the next episode. So. As soon as this is done with the first one, I can go ahead and take it over and we can finish the upgrade. How many ingots we got left? 6 or so?
Yes.
Okay.
The last block. In order for us to make the nickel chrome, the nichrome,
yeah,
we got to upgrade the blast furnace to Canthal.
Oh, okay. So there's no skipping in between step.
No, because you got to have 2700 Kelvin in order for the nichrome to turn into an ingot.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so I was really hoping to skip the blast furnace right to the tier 3, but sounds like that's not going to happen, so we're going to have to make the Canthal. That's okay, though, because later we can recycle that Canthal and use it for other things. There we go. My upgrade core is done. Let's go ahead and come back over here and toss it in here, and we should be able to craft the upgrade. Again, I don't know for sure whether or not I could use 2 single ones. Oh yeah, I gotta put this in here. There we go. Now to get this, I'm gonna make some more speed upgrades, which is I should have all the materials in the system for that. There we go. Then for the tier 2, I need a diamond pick with efficiency 3 on it. And that. So actually, let me get that back out. Actually, it doesn't even matter. It'll come back later when I need that recipe. So I still need another diamond pick. Using up diamonds here. Gonna have to get some quarrying going in the deep dark. Now I have the quarry set up right now. It's set up in the nether. I was really hoping to get some nether quartz off of it, but I've gotten relatively little nether quartz, so I'm not sure how the nether quartz is distributed with the custom ore gen in the mod pack, but apparently it is spread out pretty good, and because it's I've already dug up a few chunks, and I've gotten like very minimal amount of nether quartz. So this needs to have efficiency 3. Hopefully. There we go. 3. Come on. 3. Little bit of lag going on right now. I'm not sure what's up. Hopefully my wand has enough. Oh, just barely. And we'll wait for the lag to catch up, and it should enchant. Maybe. Something's going on.
Okay, looking into this, boss, it looks like nichrome is the top tier.
Oh. I don't have enough. I don't have enough Perdito in my wands. When I go down the surface and get some more Perdito. Nichrome is top tier.
Yeah, because it goes superconducting, then it goes copper, nickel, canthal, and then nichrome.
Superconducting should be top tier.
No.
What? Really?
Yeah, it takes almost nothing to make the wire.
Superconducting wire? It takes a bunch of stuff to make superconducting wire, I think.
But it's all low voltage.
Oh, well, yeah. It's just requires some materials that somewhere.
It does need the vac freezer, but yeah, I don't think that's the top tier because it doesn't even give it a temperature degree.
Oh, it may not even be part of the. It may not even be usable. It might be for some other multi-block structure. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. Yeah,
it's probably not. It's probably not even because when you think about it, you're making coils that produce heat, and superconductors would not produce heat at all because they have no resistance. So, oops, wrong. Pretty sure that that's not for the blast furnace.
So the nichrome is your top tier.
Yeah, nichrome's top tier. There we go. Diamond pick with efficiency 3 on it. Okay, so I should be able to make the next upgrade. Here we go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Say hello to YouTube. Thanks for stopping in.
Hello, you.
Hi.
So what do you think of the space station so far? You like it?
I love it. I've seen it before, but it's amazing. I also love what you have done to what we have done to the middle. It's amazing.
Yeah, I had it like kind of just like a square in the center, and I'm like, well, if I do it like this, like put some angles, it really accentuates the whole room of whole roundness of the room. So I think it came out
really
pretty
does,
good.
Yeah. And it isn't also like really cramped. It's like pretty spacious, I have to say.
Yeah, even though we're like using up like a lot of space for like gaps in the walls and stuff like that for running wire and things, you really can't tell that we're using all that space like when you go between the rooms and stuff. The rooms still have lots of space in them and such. So
yeah, they really do. It's really amazing. Love it.
Ooh, we're down to the last block needed. How many more do we got to process? 3. Okay, well, I'm going to head down to where I have the quarry, and I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to move it over to the deep dark. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back when I have the quarries collected, and we're ready to set it up for a demonstration in the deep dark. And actually, this would be helpful that you're in here now, because I can have you help me out by throwing the switch when we're ready to go. Because there's a switch up here that controls power to the Tesseract, so that we don't over drain the generator, which is being drained pretty hardcore by the processing we're doing right now. So
I see. Awesome.
So anyway, back in a moment, YouTube. Okay, I'm down on the surface at our treehouse where we have set up the portal to the deep dark, if you remember from last episode. So I'm going to go through. Hopefully this isn't too laggy for the server. Okay, not too bad at all, actually. Not too bad at all. There we go, wall generate. So lots of torches in the initial room where you spawn. That's good and safe. But we need to get down to the surface. I would like to set up. Oh, there's ore up here too. No, that's good. And GregTech ore. Okay. I was very curious about whether or not it was going to be GregTech ore or standard ore gen up here, or down here in the deep dark. Up here, down here. This is definitely down here. It's deep down underground. So I got to get down through the initial layers, because when you first spawn into the deep dark, you're way up at like Y something high, some kind of high Y level. Now I probably could have just went straight down, seeing how I have flight, but not everybody that comes through that portal is going to have their flight, or may not want to fly down. They may want to just come down some stairs. So we're going to make stairs. This is how normal people would do it. Normally I would also, normally I would also have a rope ladder from open blocks in order to drop that down as soon as I open up into the giant cavern that is the deep dark. You can see that I've come across some cobblestone, so that means I'm getting close to the big hole. I think that this is it right here. Yeah, there we go. So normally I would use a rope ladder and drop that down and climb down the rope ladder. Now, I don't have to worry too much about that because I have my angel wings, and if I didn't have my angel wings, I have my jetpack. So we can just go straight down from here. One of the things I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put some torches around here just so that it's easy for me to find this hole later from the surface. I'll be able to look up and see a lit spot on the ceiling of the deep dark. So we come down here. Pretty much most of the deep dark is this nice level area with occasional columns that go all the way up to the ceiling, and there's lots of stalactites or stalagmites, whichever is the ones that hang from the top. Okay, so one of the things you got to be careful with, or very careful with in the deep dark, is the mobs are a lot more challenging than the mobs on the surface. So they have like twice as much hit point. I think they may hit harder too. And the lag is real. The lag is definitely real. Look at him. Been swinging at this skeleton for a while, and then finally he's someplace entirely different. Okay, one of the best ways to deal with it might be the fact that Thrax keeps trying to log in. I'm not sure. One of the ways that you can deal with these mobs on down here like this is just to drop a magnum torch down. That'll prevent mobs from spawning in a pretty good radius. And it is one of the few things that will prevent mobs from spawning down here, because I believe even if you light it up real well, there is still a chance that mobs can spawn in the torchlight. Yeah, just lag is real. Okay, I have no idea what's up with that. But anyway, let's get right to setting up our quarry here. Oh, if I can stop being shot by skeletons anyway. Yeah, okay. It seems to clear it up for just a moment. The lag, that is. Long enough for me to kill a skeleton, that's all that's important. One of the things I try to be aware of when I'm setting up a quarry is chunk borders. So if I hit F9, it'll show me the corners of the chunks. So what I can do, or what I'm going to do is, okay, so this is a corner of a chunk right here. I'm going to go ahead and use that as the initial spot for one of my ender markers. In the last episode, I wasn't sure whether or not I need to have multiple ender markers, 3 or 4 or whatever. Turns out that you can get away with only having 3. Similar to, almost similar to the way you would set up a buildcraft quarry, where you just mark one corner and then you go out that way as far as you want, mark a corner, and go out that way as far as you want, mark a corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a 2x2 chunk area real quick. Oh, skeleton. Oh, the lag is real. Again, I have no idea what's up. It could be the fact that we got this many people online right now, but it's really not that many. So I'm actually setting my markers right on the outside of the chunk corner, because it's only going to do, and it's only going to load, and it's only going to dig inside there. So it's not going to load out there. It's only going to load on this side of the chunk border. And there's a creeper behind me. Hopefully he doesn't blow up my marker. Okay, he does not blow up my marker. And then this is the one that okay, so down here, I'm going to go 2 down here. Put a marker down, put a torch down. Now I'm not being affected by the dark, probably because of the amount of lag that's going on. I'm guessing. So you notice that when I put it down, it starts making particles, sending particles back and forth between this one and the first marker that I put down. This marker is showing particles going that direction, particles going that direction. So this is the one I want to put my ender quarry down beside. Whoops, I don't want to throw it down. Be careful around here, because it'd be my luck that I would drop something on the ground important, and a creeper would come up and blow it up. That would be my luck. So now I'm going to put this down, and then I'm just going to right-click it, and it's going to say Establishing Boundaries, and successfully established boundaries. So now it knows what area it's going to dig. I don't know if I have to keep the markers there or not, but I am going to leave them there just to be safe.
And there's going to be a server restart, just to let you know.
Oh, they're talking about doing server restart? Okay.
Yep, he's going to restart it in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes. Okay, well, that's time enough to get this established, I believe. So I'm going to put my Tesseract down there. So the Tesseract's going to feed it energy. It's also going to accept the items back from it. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a trash can on top. The reason I want this trash can is because I don't really want to get all that cobblestone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to go ahead and filter out cobblestone. Let's leave the netherrack there in case I move this back to the nether at any time. And I'm going to go ahead and put the filter in there. So when the ender quarry is looking for a place to put the stuff that it digs up, one of the first places it looks is the top of the block. So the inventory on the top of the block is a trash can. So if it has a piece of cobblestone, it goes, can I put the cobblestone in the trash can? Well, the trash can's got a filter that says, yes, you can put cobblestone in here. So it'll go ahead and trash the cobblestone. Now the next thing I need to do is I want to put my upgrades on it. Now, I don't want to put an upgrade on this side because this is across the chunk border. It would probably work, but I don't want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I want to put my first speed upgrade on the bottom of it. And then I have one more side that I can access for another upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and put my speed 2 upgrade on there. So that's going to draw a lot of power. I have a feeling this is going to draw like the power down on the generator really fast. Because there's 2 speed upgrades, so this is like 3.5 times the amount of power draw that it has by default. But it should work really fast. So, assistant, would you care to please flip the switch and provide us with some power?
And there you go.
So, okay, there it goes. So it should be mining over here. You can see that it's turned the first column of blocks into dirt. And that's what it's going to do, is it mines out each column of block. It's going to turn everything that it picks up into dirt. Really? Oh, yeah. Forget Deep Dark. These guys have hit points. There we go. Get rid of that creeper. So there it goes. It's already onto the second column. It's probably going to work pretty fast. And if we're up at the station, we should be able to see.
Yeah, we're getting a very good drain.
Yeah, very good drain. Plus, you should be able to see materials coming in if you're at the right spot. So let's head back up to the station real quick. Hopefully we can get up there before the restart server, and I can show you the input there. Go ahead and turn the switch off because it should have drained out a whole bunch of power, and then it'll run for a little while on its internal battery of power.
The switch is off.
The switch is off. Yeah, because that, I know, is going to draw a lot of power. If we're doing anything other than any kind of ore processing or crafting or anything like that, we're probably not going to be running the quarry. And we're only going to run the quarry for short bursts of time because that is going to drain our reactor pretty fast and our fuel reserves. So I should have plenty of time to get up here and see the residual power still producing some kind of ore. So maybe it may have already. Nope. Bow? How did it get a bow? I have no idea how it got a bow, but it did. Somehow got a bow through the Tesseract. There we go, garnet. We're going to continue to get materials like that until it uses up its internal energy and then stops. So right now we're not sending any energy, but the quarry has a considerable amount of energy stored in it. Yes, the generator we are low on biofuel, low on power, everything's low. So okay, well, I mean, we got the free. Is the last piece done? Oh, it's done. We got time? We got time? Maybe I can finish this up before they do the server restart. There we go. Multi-block structure form. Go on. Sometime. This block should change color when the multi-block. There it goes. There it goes. Okay. So now if we open the interface, it's probably going to tell us we have problems. Yes. Pipes are loose, screws are missing, something's stuck, platings are dented, da-da-da. So what we got to do is we got to take all the tools that we have and use them. I don't think soft hammer. think it's just a regular hammer. And open the hatch and click on them with the different tools. And this will clear all those error messages, and eventually it'll be able to be used because it won't have any problems. It'll be running perfectly. So how did that? Okay, something is still stuck. That means a crowbar, circuitry. I think one of the messages was circuitry burnout, and that doesn't belong there. So I think that's the saw. Or did I use the saw on it? Thought I did. And the crowbar is in here. Hopefully this crowbar will work. And a piece of duct tape will get rid of the circuitry burned out message. We should have some duct tape in here. There we go.
Still says something is stuck.
Something is stuck, huh? I forget. What was the other tools that make up an energy hatch? Or a maintenance hatch?
It's screwdriver.
I used a screwdriver.
Hammer.
Saw, file, hammer.
File. Saw. Wrench.
I did all that.
And soft hammer.
Spade. Oh, soft hammer. I didn't try the soft hammer, I don't think. I didn't think that was... Well, let's try it. Any moment the server's going to go down, and that's going to be the end of the video. So I'm going to say it right now. Thanks for joining me on this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, thumbs up, and all that fun stuff if you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And till next time, I'll catch you later. I don't know what's going on. I think it's
You
stopped.
gotta hit it with a rubber hammer. You need a rubber hammer.
Like this?
There you go.
Is it running? Does it say running?
It's running.
perfectly?
Yep.
It ran out of power. What happened? Oh, I was afraid of that.
What was that?
Because you overmade the energy hatch. It won't accept the 512 energy because it's not enough.
Really?
Yep. I'm pretty sure. There's nothing else that would stop it from working. Yep. All right. Well, we're gonna have to downgrade that energy hatch so that we don't, so that it'll work. But, next video it should be working, and I'm surprised the server hasn't gone down on us while we were standing around here fixing this up. So, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.